You're watching the OTB Television Network.
At its best.
At its best.
We're here with George Wolf.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. We of course have a very busy program for you, a lot of stakes racing action here in Saratoga. We've also got stakes racing action from Southern California and a nice weekend's worth of stakes at Finger Lakes as well. We're going to begin, however, at Calder Racecourse, where on Saturday they ran the Aspidistra for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares on the turf. Let's head down to Calder and the running of the Aspidistra.
And they're off in the Aspidistra handicap. In the middle of the course, Teak Totem moves for the lead. Moving up outside of her comes Formal Miss. Then moving toward the inside, that's Dazzling Delight. All the Honor is settled in fourth. Then toward the inside, moving up next, it's Heart's Gap. It's length back toward the outside. Arab Miss has been taken in hand. At the hedge, saving ground, it's Firm Reality. The trailer is Iowa's Image. Field is bunched as they move around the clubhouse turn. It's Teak Totem in front by a length and a half. To the outside, that's All the Honor. Inside of her comes Dazzling Delight. Then to the far outside, Arab Miss is fourth. A length and a half back, Formal Miss in hand is fifth. Then it's another length and a half back to Heart's Gap. Then to the outside, Iowa's Image. And at the hedge, Firm Reality. They went the first quarter in 24-1. Up the backstretch they go past the half-mile pole. They went the half in 49-2. The pace is slow. On the inside, that's Teak Totem. On the outside, that's Arab Miss. Then it's a length back. That's All the Honor moving up. To the far outside, it's Formal Miss. At the hedge, that's Dazzling Delight. It's 2 lengths back to Heart's Gap. Another 2 lengths. That's Iowa's Image. And 4 lengths to the trailer, Firm Reality. The field moves past the quarter pole to the top of the stretch. They went 3 quarters and won 13-2. On the inside, Teak Totem. On the outside, moving to challenge, it's Arab Miss. Dazzling Delight's at the hedge. Then toward the outside, it's All the Honor. Moving up on the far outside, Iowa's Image. They come to the final furlong. Teak Totem set a slow pace, and he's making them pay now. That's Teak Totem. Takes them wire to wire and wins it by 3. It's Iowa's Image with the place close for the show.
Teak Totem and Eddie Nunez getting the victory by 3 on the front end. Late charge from Iowa's Image, falling about 3 short as Heart's Gap makes up a little bit of pace, splitting horses in the stretch to just get into the 3rd spot. Favorite in the field was Formal Miss. Very disappointing, forwardly placed early, fading rather early to finish 7th in the field of 8. The winner, Teak Totem, is a dark bay or brown 4-year-old daughter of Northern Afleet from Tewksbury Road by High Honors. Bred in Florida by T. Wynn Jolly and Mary Jolly. Owned by D. Christensen, L. Grissom, and J. Meyer. Trained by Jim Hatchett and ridden to victory by Eduardo Nunez. Teak Totem covers the mile on the good turf course in 1:37 and 3. We're going to continue with stakes racing action from Monmouth and the running of the Philip Islin Handicap. We're going to have a short field, but a pretty good group of horses going postward on Saturday. Let's head down to New Jersey and the running of the Islin.
They're off in the Islin. Presidential Affair broke very well. Ghost Zapper is right alongside, and Private Lap sits off of them in 3rd. And Zoffinger, not too surprising, well behind early. He's really dropping back, already 12 lengths off the lead as they race by the stands. Presidential Affair leads Ghost Zapper, and Private Lap is sitting right behind him, and he's a little bit rank in 3rd as they go into the turn. They've got 15 on Zoffinger, and they ran a quarter in 22 4/5 seconds. Presidential Affair is now by himself. He leads by a length and a half. Ghost Zapper content to sit 2nd early, and Private Lap content to sit 3rd. And then it's Zoffinger, and he's 20 lengths behind as they head down the back stretch. Presidential Affair and Stuart Elliott on top. The winner of the Salvatore Mile hit a half mile today in 45 4/5 seconds. And Ghost Zapper is a length and a half behind in 2nd. Castellano with a nice hold of him at this stage. Private Lap starting to be pushed along by Joe Bravo. He wants more, and Zoffinger is well beaten. They're moving into the far turn. Presidential Affair continues to be tracked by Ghost Zapper. The lead is 3/4 of a length, and they went 3/4 in 1:09 3. Presidential Affair now put to a drive. Ghost Zapper within a neck of the front runner as they round the far turn. They've left Private Lap behind, and Zoffinger's been last throughout. It's a two-horse race. Ghost Zapper and Presidential Affair, and Ghost Zapper has taken the lead at the top of the stretch, and he moves away by a length and a half. Presidential Affair is running his heart out in second. The rest of the field well behind. It is Ghost Zapper, and he's just far too classy. He goes by the 16th pole by himself and lengthens his lead to the wire. Ghost Zapper and Javier Castellano win the Island by 8 lengths. Presidential Affair was second best, and it's going to be close for third. It looked like Zoffinger photoed Private Lap.
It was a monster performance by Ghost Zapper, who I understand has been assigned a Beyer speed figure well up in the 120s for this performance. A tour de force effort, almost 11 lengths the better of Presidential Affair. Zoffinger third, and the final spot going to Private Lap, rather, in the short field of only 4, going in the showery conditions, obviously a very sloppy racing surface. Ghost Zapper stretching out here to 2 turns, obviously very nicely, but it is still, as of now, up in the air whether or not 2 turns is really his best configuration, being as he is primarily from the family that has already produced City Zip, although obviously Sire Awesome Again handled the 2 turns in the 1.25 mile Breeders' Cup Classic very nicely. So we'll wait and see what Bobby Frankel decides to do with this Stronach stable runner, but obviously a very impressive performance on the stretch out. Ghost Zapper, a 4-year-old bay son of Awesome Again from Baby Zip by Relaunch, bred in Kentucky by Adena Springs, owned by Stronach and trained by Bobby Frankel. Ridden to victory by Javier Castellano. Ghost Zapper goes the mile in an 1/8 and the slop in 1:47 and 3. We're going to head to Arlington next for the Arlington Park Breeders' Cup Oaks for 3-year-old fillies. This is a Grade 3, $150,000 event. Let's head to Chicago and the Arlington Park Breeders' Cup Oaks.
And they're off in the Arlington Breeders' Cup Oaks. Catboat with a slow reaction from the gate. Miss Moses breaks well, along with Flashy toward the inside. Flyaway Angel. My Time Now is up close too as they make their way into the first turn. Jason Lumpkins sends Flyaway Angel to the front. Miss Moses, Lovely Afternoon right there at the rail. Flashy running 4 wide in 4th. My Time Now is 5th. Catboat 6th at the rail. She was last from the gate. Teenage Temper in the red cap settled there. 6th from leader Flyaway Angel, who's unopposed onto the backstretch. Platinum Ballet being rated toward the back of the field. Touch of Victory is ground saving. Chancy Light is racing 10th and last. The opening quarter, 24 and 2. No pace pressure for Flyaway Angel. Flyaway Angel, she's nice and settled here in front of Lovely Afternoon. Miss Moses 3rd. Flashy is 4th. Catboat at the rail. My Time Now is in behind filly. She's 6th from leader Flyaway Angel. Touch of Victory at the rail has 7 lengths to find. Platinum Ballet, Teenage Temper, and well back there to Chancy Light. The half in 48 and 2. The field moving into the far turn. Flyaway Angel, Lovely Afternoon, Miss Moses, Flashy coming up wide. Catboat has been ground saving. My Time Now, Touch of Victory being driven now at the 5/16 pole. Platinum Ballet also being cajoled along. Teenage Temper and Chancy Light is a remote last as Flyaway Angel comes charging off the far turn. 3/4, 113 flat. Flyaway Angel. Now, here's Catboat raising the stakes, and Lovely Afternoon on the outside. Flyaway Angel, she's now 3rd. Farther back, My Time Now and Miss Moses. They're just above the 16th pole. Eddie Martin Jr. and Catboat. Jimmy Graham and Lovely Afternoon. And these 2 fillies giving it their all. Lovely Afternoon has a nose in front of Catboat. It is close. Catboat, Lovely Afternoon, the eye of a needle between those 2 fillies in the Arlington Breeders' Cup Oaks. My Time Now was 3rd.
Dead heat for the win here. 2 noses on the wire. Inseparable, Lovely Afternoon, and Catboat getting the victory in a tie. The 3rd spot going to My Time Now, who ran fairly nicely from off the pace. It made a bit of a mid-pack move, but was not quite able to match the top 2. Favorite in the field was the early pace setter Flyaway Angel under Jason Lumpkins, who faded to finish 4th in the field of 10. 2 winners here. Lovely Afternoon, a dark Bayer Brown 3-year-old daughter of Afternoon Delights from Lovely Later by Green Dancer. Catboat, a dark Bayer Brown daughter of Tail of the Cat from Northern Fleet by A Fleet. She bred by Stoner Side Stable in Kentucky. Her dead heat mate, Lovely Afternoon, bred in Pennsylvania by the Two Sisters Farm. Lovely Afternoon is owned by Richard Otto Stable and trained by Anthony Mitchell. Her rival Catboat, owned by Stonerside Stable and trained by Bernie Flint. Lovely Afternoon, ridden by James Graham, and Catboat, ridden to victory by Eddie Martin Jr. Tie for the dead heat win at Arlington Park in 151 flat. We're going to continue now with stakes racing action from the northwest part of the United States. Emerald Downs running the Long Acres Mile on Sunday evening, our time, a grade 3. The older horses going a flat mile. Let's head to Emerald in the running of the Long Acres Mile.
Away they race. Pretty good start. Best on Tap came out the best from Metatron. Showing early paces, Salt Grinder on their outside, and Deputy Country in the centre, driving to make a line of 4 out the stretch for the lead. A length away in 5th is Vacade. Demon Warlock settling 6th, and back on the inside, Gratitude Attack. Improving early is Royal Place. Poker Brad is back 4th last. Then American Fury. 2 lengths A Dream is Born. And last is Mr. McCarr. And Metatron has sprouted wings early and got right away. Metatron opens up a lead of 2. Salt Grinder coming after it quickly, though, in second. Up on the outside, Deputy Country is lying third. 2 lengths away, Best on Tap. Racing wide, improving 2 is Vacade. A length away came Royal Place, who's mid-pack. And improving past Demon Warlock. 2.5 to Gratitude Attack. Poker Brad is well back with, in the centre, American Fury. A Dream is Born second last and tailed right off Mr. McCarr. 44 and 3 for Metatron's half mile. Metatron by 1. Racing up on the outside into second spot is Vacade. Salt Grinders a neck away third. Royal Place pushed along, trying to make ground on this trio. 2 lengths away fourth. Then Deputy Country. Demon Warlock coming back into it a little bit. American Fury's running on, and from the back, A Dream is Born, letting loose right around the extreme outside. Poker Brad's not doing enough. A Dream is Born's coming home well. Metatron turns in front of Vacade, and now Royal Place, and here's A Dream is Born, and Russell Bay's right down the outside. A Dream is Born has gobbled them up. A Dream is Born reaches the lead. Coming home on the inside, Demon Warlock, but A Dream is Born in front, a length clear. Demon Warlock the challenger, a 16th to go. A Dream is Born in front. Demon Warlock the only danger. A Dream is Born holding Demon Warlock, and it is A Dream is Born the winner. Demon Warlock second, a long gap. Mr. McCarr got up to run third, and then came American Fury.
A Dream is Born. Russell Bayes heads up to the Pacific Northwest to get the off-the-pace victory in the slop over Demon Warlock, who'd been running some pretty good races against a little bit lesser company. Mr. McCarr rallies from well off the pace, 6 wide at 30-1 into the third spot. Lukewarm choice at over 3-1. In here was Poker Brad, who really did not show a whole lot. He was in the second tier throughout most of the going, never made up much ground, finishing 8th in the field of 11. The winner, A Dream is Born, is a dark bay or brown gelded 5-year-old son of Chris S. from Erica's Dream by Tooza Plenty. Bred in Kentucky by John Franks and John Abel Farm, owned by the Franks Farm and trained by Jerry Hollendorfer. Ridden to victory by Russell Bayes, A Dream is Born covers the mile in the slop in 134 and 4. We're going to head now to Southern California, where the weather conditions were a little more pleasant for racing over the weekend, and begin with the Del Mar Oaks, a grade 1 turf event for 3-year-old fillies. Let's head to Del Mar, the running of the Oaks.
Up, all set for the Del Mar Oaks. Fields sent on their way. Along the inside, we have Sweet Wind, quickest into stride. Up alongside of that comes Seducer's Song. Now Western Hemisphere with a big white face kicks through on the inside to take over. Ticker Tape tucked in just behind them. Red Top is going to be forced wide into this first turn. Then back to Amarama and Sagita Ra's last, but only 5 lengths would cover them all. Past the 7/8 they go, and Western Hemisphere real keen out here. She's got her ears pricked. She's taken a good hold of that bit, and Western Hemisphere keen to go on. On the outside of her is Seducer's Song in second. The pace is decent. Ticker Tape down at the rail is in third, and Sweet Wind races along fourth. Sagita Ra has the red cap in fifth, only 4 lengths off the leaders. Outside of those two comes Red Top, and Amarama as last. 7 lengths would cover them all. Down the backstretch they go, and it's still the flashy Western Hemisphere keen to go on, has a good hold down at the rail. Outside of her, Seducer's Song, 1.5 lengths to Ticker Tape in third. Alongside of her comes Sweet Wing, now 3 lengths off the leaders. Sagita Ra has 4.5 to make up. Then comes Red Top, and still the trailer Amarama, 7 lengths covers the lot. Into the turn they go, and Seducer's Song turns the pressure on early here. but Western Hemisphere's far from done. She comes right back and goes on. Western Hemisphere seduces Song. They stride for stride. Ticker Tape is looking for somewhere to run. Ticker Tape full of run too. And Ticker Tape going to hook to the outside. And here's Sagita Ride, the red cap. This one's wide open. Seduces Song goes on. Western Hemisphere. Ticker Tape being very confidently ridden. Sweet Winners on the outside and Sagita Ride. Even Amarama's coming late. They come for home and it's Ticker Tape in front. Ticker Tape on the outside. Amarama finishing strongly. Ticker Tape. Amarama so close. Maybe Amarama tagged her. Ticker Tape right there. Sweet Win was third. Then came Seducer's Song, Sagita Ra, Western Hemisphere, and Red Top was last.
Amarama getting the victory here. A very impressive rallying move from way back off the pace at almost 20-1 to get her nose down on the wire in front of Ticker Tape, who had come in here as the favorite. She was the winner in a little bit of an upset in the American Oaks back on the 4th of July. She ran a good one to just miss by a nose. Sweet Win back in the third spot. Shipping out from New York was Seducer's Song, who had won a race at Saratoga earlier on in the season. She finished a solid fourth after pressing the pace in the early going. The winner, Amarama, is a French-bred daughter of Sri Pecan from Tanzania by Alzeo. She was bred by Jean-Etienne Dubois in France, a 3-year-old daughter of a stallion not that well known to American eyes, but obviously a stallion who can sire a nice distance-running turf filly. Owned by Nafi and Woodside Farms Limited, trained by Julio Canani, and ridden to victory by David Flores. Amarama covers the mile and an eighth on the turf at Del Mar in 1:46.1. Going to head right back to Del Mar now in the running of the Rancho Bernardo, a grade 3 for fillies and mares. Let's head back to California. Trevor Denman's call of the Rancho Bernardo.
Now ready. And away they go to a perfect start. In the center is Barbara Orr, quickest into stride. Dream of Summer's very fast on the outside. Coconut Girl, one from the rail right there too. All Glory in the gold in the center. Now here comes I Can't Go For That quickly at the rail. I Can't Go For That runs up alongside of the leaders. Bold Roberta is the grey and Cyber Slew is last, 6 off them. They have a half mile to run and Barbara Orr between horses. Dream of Summer is on the outside and I Can't Go For That at the rail. Coconut Girl sent along from the 4th position. Bold Roberta is 5th, only 3 off the leaders. Then we come back to All Glory, who's lost a bit of ground, and Cyber Slew is 8 off them. 3/8 to go, and Dream of Summer now going strongly on the outside. Dream of Summer not been asked, but she's taken the lead easily here. Barbara Orr tries to hang tough. Coconut Girl is 3rd. Bold Roberta's got to pick it up from 4th. They turn for home in the Rancho Bernardo, and it's Dream of Summer going home gamely. Barbara Orr, Coconut Girl giving a game chase. Past the 8th pole they come. Dream of Summer and ultra tough Barbara Orr battling right back at her along the inside. Dream of Summer, Barbara Orr's coming right back. Dream of Summer, Barbara Orr. Dream of Summer wanted ahead to Barbara Orr. Close for 3rd, Cyber Slew or Coconut Girl.
Dream of Summer, Mike Smith getting a neck victory here. Hard-fought effort. This horse involved every step of the way, dueling with Barbara Orr, able to put that rival away by only a neck. Barbara Orr very game in defeat, running in the 2nd spot with Cyber Slew, taking advantage of the brisk pace up front to rally from well back off the pace into the 3rd spot. The winner, Dream of Summer, is a Greyer Roan 5-year-old daughter of Siberian Summer from Mary's Dream by Skywalker. Bred in California by James Weigel and owned by the breeder, trained by Juan Garcia and ridden to victory by Mike Smith. Dream of Summer covers the 6.5 furlongs at Del Mar in 1:15.4. The big race of the weekend, of course, at Del Mar, the Pacific Classic, a grade 1 $1 million mile and a quarter for older horses. This race has been a bit of a stumbling block for horses shipping in from different venues. Let's head back to California and the running of the Pacific Classic.
Fields sent on their way to the roar of the Del Mar crowd, and what a perfect start as well. They all came away beautifully. During on the grandstand side, and Night Patrol are quickest into stride. The Argentinian El Ado Hiado is showing good speed along the inside. Tucked in just behind that comes Total Impact. Perfect Drift has the green cap on the inside, just 3 lengths off these leaders. Now here's Pleasantly Perfect. He's taken a nice good hold. He's dropped back into 5th, 5 off the leaders. Probably in a good spot out here. 4 back to Choctaw Nation and Colonial Colony. The pace is a solid one as they go past the 7/8 foal. The Argentinian El Elo Hiadao setting the pace out here, been pressured by Night Patrol. During is tucked in third and Total Impact is fourth. On the inside, Perfect Drift and Pat Day scrape the paint, just 3.5 off them. Here's Pleasantly Perfect now in 6. He's 5 lengths off the leaders. And then another 4 lengths back comes Colonial Colony. Choctaw Nation quite content to bide his time at the back. He's 9 off the leaders. They have a half mile to go. Total Impact and Enduring now come to turn the pressure on. El Elo Hiadoro along the inside, been followed by Night Patrol. Pleasantly Perfect now moving up to the 5th spot, just 3 off the leaders. Then it's Perfect Drift. They tightly gap now with less than a half mile to go in the Pacific Classic. And let's see, Choctaw Nation now being asked to pick it up. Inside of him, Colonial Colony. 5/16 to go now, and a new leader in Total Impact. Pleasantly Perfect is now coming with his run on the outside. Choctaw Nation is winding up from far back and running on. In behind that is Perfect Drift. They turn for home. Total Impact, but Pleasantly Perfect now coming fast. Choctaw Nation far back, and Pleasantly Perfect strikes the front with 1/8 of a mile to go. Perfect Drift is hooked to the outside, coming home gamely and Total Impact, but it's Pleasantly Perfect in front. Here's Perfect Drift with a late run. Pleasantly Perfect and Perfect Drift. Pleasantly Perfect has won the Pacific Classic to Perfect Drift. Behind that, Total Impact. Then we come back to Choctaw Nation. Then came Enduring. In behind him, Colonial Colony. El Elo Hiadao finished second last, and Night Patrol was last.
Here, the local horse gets the victory as Pleasantly Perfect returns to the winner's circle, indicating, as suspected, that the San Diego Handicap's second place finish in his last start was obviously merely a race being used as a prep to bring him back into his sharpest form for the big race here. Getting Jerry Bailey aboard for the first time as Alex Solis is unfortunately sidelines with an injury. Jerry gets the call here and ends up with the win by a length over the late charging Perfect Drift with Pat Day up. Perfect Drift ran 2 weeks prior in the Whitney in a very game effort behind Roses in May, returning here with a 3,000-mile trip under his belt, still showing up with another solid performance to finish second. Finishing in the third spot, Total Impact, who ran just off the early pace, made a nice middle move to get into contention, had the lead briefly at the top of the stretch, but was not able to hold off Pleasantly Perfect when he got his big stride going. The winner, Pleasantly Perfect, is a 6-year-old bay son of Pleasant Colony from Regal State by Affirmed. Bred in Kentucky by the Clovelly Farm and owned by Diamond A Racing Corporation, trained by Richard Mandela. Ridden to victory by Jerry Bailey, Pleasantly Perfect covers the 1.25 miles of the Pacific Classic in 2:01 flat. We're going to pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be heading back to New York. We're going to begin with a review of some racing action from Finger Lakes and then heading to Saratoga. Please stay with us.
NYBreads.com, the online home of North America's best incentive program. The latest news, updated throughout the day, plus streaming video of New York Bred Stakes winners. Check out the New York Bred leaderboards for jockeys, trainers, owners, and breeders. Want to become an owner or breeder? Well, the New York Thoroughbred Breeders section tells you about upcoming new owner seminars and farm tours. You'll even find an online sales section with horses you can purchase right now. There's a directory of New York State farms, a stallion registry, plus up-to-date sales information complete with hip numbers and pedigree pages. Thinking of breeding your mare? First, go to nybreds.com and run a hypothetical mating with any registered New York-based stallion. And finally, at nybreds.com, you'll see why the New York Breeding and Racing Program is North America's best, with over $40 million a year in purses, incentives, and awards. So get with the program at nybreds.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue now with stakes racing action from the central part of the state. At Finger Lakes, we're going to take a look first at the Wine Country Handicap for older sprinters. Let's head to Finger Lakes and the running of the Wine Country. Top shoulders.
They're off in the Wine Country Handicap. They'll get away right together, and Top Shotter goes right to the front. Wild Bill Hiccup is second. Then is a length and a half to Seeking the Money and Vodka. They move midway up the backstretch. Top Shotter bounding along by a length. Wild Bill Hiccup second. Seeking the Money and Vodka. They go by the half-mile pole in 22 and 1 for the quarter. Top Shotter gets away by better than 2. Very quickly seeking the money. It's rushed up into second. Wild Bill Hiccup on the outside and Better Than Three back to Vodka. They approach the quarter pole. Top Shotter with the lead. Seeking the money, moves a closer second. Wild Bill Hiccup third, and Better Than Four back to Vodka, the half, and 45 and 1. And as they turn for home, Top Shotter still under a hand ride and has opened up the lead very easily and will cruise away, opening up the lead by 5, 6, 7, 8 lengths. A very easy victory in the wine country for Top Shotter and Paul Nickel Jr. Seeking the money second, and Wild Bill Hiccup third.
Top Shoulder getting the job done on the front end. No surprise there. This guy was scratched from a race earlier on this week here in New York, and obviously they made the right decision, taking him back to Finger Lakes, where he was dominant by 8 as the heavy odds-on choice over Seeking the Money. Wild Bill Hiccup giving futile chase early and fading to finish third. The winner, Top Shoulder, a 5-year-old bay or brown gelded son of Ormsby from Raja Diddle by Raja's Revenge, was bred in New York by Michael Anchel, owned by Charlton Baker, trained by Charlton Baker, and ridden to victory by Paul Nickel Jr. Top Shoulder goes the 6 furlongs at Finger Lakes in 1:09 flat. 2 more stakes races to bring to you from Finger Lakes. We're going to begin with a pair of 2-year-old stakes, beginning with the Lady Finger. 2-year-old New York bred fillies running for $75,000. Let's head back out to Canandaigua and the running of the Lady Finger. Ready?
They're off in the 26th running of the Lady Finger Stakes. On the far outside, Ready for Rubies will break on top, and there goes the Party Maker up early to grab the lead. Loch Nessie is right alongside, and these two, the early leaders, is 2.5 lengths. Royal Fudge on the far outside, third. Mahira Maskey is down on the rail, fourth. Carlo is fifth. Moving on the far outside, Ready for Rubies, sixth. Then we come back, a Rose for Chris. Opening quarter, Lively, 21 and 4. On the outside, Party Maker pokes ahead in front. Loch Nessie comes right back to battle. There's a gap of 3 lengths to Royal Fudge, third. There's another 3 lengths back. Ready for Rubies is fourth, and they turn for home. And Party Maker with John Grabowski takes control in the Lady Finger Stakes off the turn and opens up by 2. Ready for Rubies is second. Loch Nessie drops back third. On the far outside, Carlo fourth. Through the stretch, here comes Ready for Rubies. Ready for Rubies coming on to win the Lady Fingers. Party Maker second and Carlo third.
Ready for Rubies and Ariel Smith picking up a very nice victory here. This looks like a nice young filly. She showed good aggressive action in the early part of the race, made a nice move between horses getting into contention, and responded with a half-length victory over Party Maker, with Carlo running back in the third spot at 32-1 under Paul Nickel. The winner, Ready for Rubies, is a Gray or Roan 2-year-old daughter of freshman stallion Precise End. I believe this is Precise End's first stakes win. Precise End out of Diamonds and Rubies by Rubiano, bred in New York by Thomas and Lakin, owned by Anthony Gray, D. O'Connor, and B. Ready. Trained by Dominic Galuccio and ridden to victory by Ariel Smith. Ready for Rubies covers the 6 furlongs of the Lady Finger at Finger Lakes in 1:11 and 1. We're going to head right back to Finger Lakes now for 2-year-old Colton Geldings in the Aspirant Stakes. Once again, we're going to be going 6 furlongs for $75,000. Let's head back to Finger Lakes and the running of the Aspirant.
They're off in the 30th running of the Aspirant Stakes. As they charge out of the chute in between horses, Caribbean Cruiser will break on top to take the lead. You Will Go Broke is right alongside in second. There's a gap of 2. Big Apple Daddy third. Then we come back to Dr. Attitude, and in on the rail, Joker's Wild Card. They sprint past the half-mile to opening quarter, zipped in 22 flat. Caribbean Cruiser cruising along by a length. You Will Go Broke second. There's a length and a half to Big Apple Daddy third. There's a gap of 2 to Dr. Attitude, and dropping back almost 5 lengths to Joker's Wild Card. They approach the quarter pole, and Caribbean Cruiser in complete control and on cruise control, the half in 45 and 2. They turn for home in the Aspirant Stakes, and it's all Caribbean Cruiser under a hand right now. Some left-handed urging by Chin Yang, and has opened up a very easy 6-length lead to the wire. To win the Aspirant Stakes, Caribbean Cruiser, a future star of the making, going away to win by better than 3.5. Big Apple Daddy, and then we get back to You Will Go Broke.
Caribbean Cruiser Chin Yang aboard, getting a very nice front-end victory here. This guy seems to have some pretty high cruising speed. The fractions were quick, and he went on quite nicely with it to win by almost 4 as the heavy odds-on choice over Big Apple Daddy, with Will You Go Broke finishing in the 3rd spot. This is a nicely bred youngster, another Gray or Roan. This one is sired by Silver Ghost out of Jack Better Be Right by Jacques Hu, bred in New York by Star Track Farm. This one is a half to Open Company Stakes winner Gray Comet, so some very nice pedigree on this young prospect here. He's owned by the Star Track Farm, trained by Donna Beretta, and ridden to victory by Chin Yang. Caribbean Cruiser covers the 6 furlongs at Finger Lakes in 1:10 and 4. We're going to head to Saratoga now for a series of races beginning last Monday. Last Monday's stakes feature, the John's Call on the turf, named after, of course, the Grade 1 winner John's Call, who is actually in residence at Saratoga now as a pony, being ridden by his trainer Tommy Voss around on the backstretch. It's good to see him back in town. He was a Grade 1 winner here at Saratoga at the age of 9. John's Call now having a race named after him at 1 mile and 5/8 on the turf course. Let's join the running of the John's Call in progress.
Into the gloaming and into the clubhouse turn, and on the inside Latino's got a narrow lead, and on the outside Some Kind of Tiger. They've been head-to-head most of the way at a fairly comfortable pace. Art Variety continues a 3-wide journey. Cottage toward the inside. Host is in between those two, and they're followed by Vanity Affairs, Simeon, and Pisces. 3 lengths back and in hand now is asked for a bit more as they begin their run down the back stretch with 5.5 furlongs remaining here. Spanish Spur is second last, and Moulahin is the last of them all. Down the back stretch run, Some Kind of Tiger on the outside, Latino toward the inside. They've run a mile here in 1 minute and 42 seconds. And it has been Some Kind of Tiger and Latino 1-2 all the way around the track. Art Variety's been 3 wide throughout. Host and Cottage still right there, and behind horses they're running 4th and 5th. There goes Vanity of Affair, but he'll be forced to go 4 wide into the far turn. Simeon is in behind horses, but only 5 lengths from the front now. Then it's Pisces on the outside, Spanish Spur and in hand. 5 lengths back to Moulahin, and they're nearing the top of the stretch now. And here comes Vanity Affair with a sweeping move on the far outside. Vanity Affair coming up on the outside as Latino battles on. Latino toward the inside, Vanity Affair on the outside. Cottage comes out for running room now. It's Latino still in front, and Cottage is driving to him as they come down to the final furlong. Host, Spanish Spur, is just picking his way through the pack. One by one, they're falling to Spanish Spur. They're inside the final furlong now, and it is Spanish Spur who's roused to the lead and will take it going away. Spanish Spur weaving his way through traffic to win it here by 3 lengths over Cottage. Host was 3rd, and Latino wound up 4th.
Spanish Spur getting the victory here, and very nice effort by this horse, weaving through traffic throughout the running of the stretch to kick clear by 3 over Cottage, with Host and Cottage actually running quite close together through horses and getting the 2nd and 3rd spots here. But a nice effort by the winner, Spanish Spur, who had a lot of traffic trouble to overcome when they rounded the turn for home. Spanish Spur is a dark bay or brown 6-year-old gelded son of Indian Ridge from Las Flores by Sadler's Wells. He was bred in Great Britain by George Strawbridge, owned by Augustin Stable and trained by Jonathan Shepard, ridden to victory by Cornelio Velasquez. Spanish Spur covers the 1 mile and 5/8 on a yielding surface in 2:46 and 1. We're going to head right back up to Saratoga now for the running of the Yaddo Stakes for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares, New York State breds, going on the turf. Let's head back to last Wednesday's running of the Yaddo.
They're in the gate. And they're off. And BB Lake, the lamp is lit. On the outside, it's Big Tease. Big Tease trying to clear the field, and Big Tease is in front. Perfect Energy is right there, and down on the inside is BB Lake. The lamp is lit as a close-up fourth. In between horses, Raffy's Dream in fifth. Dynamic Lisa has made her way over to the inside in sixth. And then comes On the Bus on the outside in seventh. Lady Libby and Sabalina are heads apart. Then it's a gap of 3 lengths to Brandella and another 4 to Some Irish Legend, the trailer in 11th. The quarter over the yielding turf in 24 3/5 seconds. And now they're moving up the back stretch. And it's Perfect Energy who now has the lead. Perfect Energy by 3/4 of a length. Raffy's Dream, second by a head. Big Tease is third. The lamp is lit in fourth. On the Bus in the clear on the outside. And then comes BB Lake towards the inside, racing in sixth. Then it's Dynamic Lisa, followed by Sabalina. And then Lady Libby, and the 2 trailers are Brandella and Some Irish Legend. And the half mile was run in 50 seconds. Around the far turn, it's Perfect Energy on the inside, Raffy's Dream on the outside. Those 2 are together. On the Bus begins to pick it up on the extreme outside. And then it's Big Tease. Here comes Sabalina now gaining ground. The lamp is lit as in between horses. On the extreme outside is Lady Libby, and it's wide open as they come into the stretch. Here's On the Bus now to take the lead. Sabalina driving on the outside. Sabalina and On the Bus. Then it's Big Tease. Lady Libby out in the middle of the course. Sabalina, narrow lead over On the Bus. They come down to the line. Sabalina and On the Bus, and it's a photo finish. Sabalina and On the Bus with Lady Libby in third.
Sabalina makes it 4 for 4 on the turf course. She has really improved her game. A 3-year-old filly taking on some of her elders and doing so in dead game fashion as the second choice in the wagering over On the Bus, the favorite in the field of 11. Lady Libby rallying from well off the pace at almost over 15 to 1 to complete the trifecta. The winner, Sabalina, is a dark bay or brown 3-year-old daughter of Langfure from Restored Hope by He's Bad. Bred in New York by John Valentino, owned by Jay Lieberman and Mark Scharfman. Trained by Joe Aquilino, picking up his first stakes victory at the Spa. Ridden to victory by Pat Day. Sabalina covers the 1 1/8 on the soft turf course in 1:53 flat. We're going to head right back to Saratoga now in the running of the John A. Morrissey New York bred restricted event. This is a sprint 6.5 furlongs. Let's head back to the Spa in the running of the Morrissey.
And they're off. Clever Electrician on the extreme outside. Uncle Cammy is now moving up. It's Uncle Cammy with the lead. Clever Electrician is in second, Will's Journey in third, and Traffic Chief is fourth. Then Affair in the Air in fifth. Go Rockin' Robin is sixth. No Parole trails the field in seventh as they move up the backstretch. It's Uncle Cammy in front by a length. Clever Electrician is second by a half length. Will's Journey down on the inside in third. The opening quarter went in 22 3/5 seconds. Traffic Chief now moving up a spot from fourth. Affair in the Air, extreme outside in fifth, and it's a big break to the 2 trailers, No Parole, and Go Rockin' Robin. They race around the far turn. It's Uncle Cammy in front by a length. Clever Electrician is in second. Then it's Traffic Chief, Will's Journey down at the rail, and Affair in the Air. Uncle Cammy still the one to beat as they hit the head of the stretch. The half mile in 45 1. Uncle Cammy by almost 3 lengths. Clever Electrician is running in second. Then it's Will's Journey. On the outside, Traffic Chief. Uncle Cammy trying to hold off Clever Electrician. A 16th to the finish. Uncle Cammy still there. Clever Electrician driving on the outside. Clever Electrician gets there to win it. Clever Electrician by a half length at the end. Uncle Cammy second. Farther back, it was Traffic Chief and Will's Journey.
Clever Electrician sitting just off the pace set by Uncle Cammy. These two looked on paper like they were going to duel, but it was a nice, relaxed Clever Electrician under Ramon Dominguez, sitting just off that pace, pouncing mid-stretch and drawing clear by a length from a game Uncle Cammy. Traffic Chief returning off the long layoff. He had not been seen since last fall downstate. He runs a solid third, perhaps at a distance a little shorter than his best. The winner, Clever Electrician, is a 5-year-old bay son of Clever Trick from Loose Wire by Ruritania. He was bred in New York by driver Ferguson. He is owned by Gumster Stable Limited and trained by Bruce Levine. Ridden to victory by Ramon Dominguez, Clever Electrician covers the 6.5 furlongs at Saratoga in 1:15 and 4. We're going to pause now for one more brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at the weekend stakes racing action. Please stay with us.
This year, many thoroughbreds, no longer able to compete, will join the ranks of racing's homeless. Since 1982, the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation and its supporters have been providing help and hope for those in need, creating opportunities where once there were none. The TRF, together with the racing industry, is meeting the challenge, taking care of their own. Yesterday's innovative concepts, combining the TRF's rescue mission with educational and rehabilitation goals, have become today's life-saving success stories and a track record of unsurpassed growth. Safely retired thoroughbreds are now enjoying second careers, bringing responsibility, healing, and purpose to the lives of those who need it most. With your help, we can continue our saving mission, ensuring many more horses the welcome home they so richly deserve.
Welcome back, everyone, to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue with stakes racing action from Saratoga with a little bit of a change in the schedule. The Spinaway and the Hopeful have been moved from their usual spot in the final week of racing in order to hopefully boost some of the stakes racing program downstate. As a result, we've had a little bit of changes, including the grade in the Spinaway being downgraded to a grade 2, a little bit disappointing, and I'm sure there are many people out there who are hoping that it will be upgraded very, very soon. Next up, the Spinaway. Last Friday's featured stakes race for 2-year-old fillies going to stretch to 7 furlongs. Let's head back to Saratoga, the running of the Spinaway.
And they're off. Portsea breaks on top, quickly to the front. Sense of Style is there. On the far outside, Broadway Golden Play with Fire. Classic Elegance down toward the rail. And then it's Mismatched, and the early trailer is Punch Appeal. Racing up the backstretch, Portsea in control by a length. Johnny Velasquez trying to throttle down that speed of Sportsea and leads by a length. Classic Elegance is up and on the pace today. The opening quarter goes in 22 3/5 seconds. Classic Elegance right up there with the lead. Mismatched moves through in between horses. Sense of Style is racing right up on the pace in 4th. And Broadway Gold followed by Punch Appeal. And the trailer is now Play with Fire. Around the far turn, Portsea Mismatched to her inside. And just to her outside at Sense of Style, followed by Broadway Gold. In the meantime, Classic Elegance is plummeting toward the back of the pack. And Punch Appeal now getting within 6 lengths of the lead. Play with Fire and Classic Elegance has dropped back to trail as the field turns for home. The half went in 45 3/5 seconds. At the top of the stretch, Mismatch trying to come through on the inside of Portsea. On the outside, Sense of Style. And now, Sense of Style, Edgar Prado says go with her, and she is responding impressively. Sense of Style blows him away in the final furlong to win by 6 widening lengths at the end. Mismatched was second, and Play with Fire closed third.
Sense of Style and Edgar Prado getting the victory here in very impressive fashion as the favorite over Mismatched. Play with Fire finishing in the 3rd spot after a bobbling start. She rallied very, very nicely to finish very well. Punch Appeal, who was a shipper in from South Florida, did look very good on paper. Unfortunately, she came up with a very bumpy start, a little bit of difficulty early, getting pinched back, never really getting into the hunt, and finishing well back in the field of 7. The winner, Sense of Style, is a bay 2-year-old daughter of Thunder Gulch from Save Me the Waltz by Kings Lake, bred in Kentucky by the 12 Oaks stud, owned by Derek Smith and Michael Tabor and trained by Pat B. and Cone. Ridden to victory by Edgar Prado, this filly, who has got terrific pedigree to be a strong 3-year-old, certainly looks like one that will develop on very nicely as the distances get longer. Sense of Style covers the 7 furlongs of the Spinaway in 1:23 4. We're going to continue now with 2-year-olds in the Grade 1 $250,000 Hopeful at 7 furlongs on Saturday. Let's head back to Saratoga and the running of the Hopeful.
And they're off. Devil's Disciple looking for that early lead from the inside, but Storm Surge is quick out of there. Flamenco and Winning Expression. Flamenco, Winning Expression head-to-head for the lead. Devil's Disciple is now 3rd. And then Consolidator moving to 4th, followed by Storm Surge. At the back of the pack early, a Fleet Alex and Wild Nature. A Fleet Alex in between horses, 5 lengths from the leader. and the leader is Winning Expression. But there goes Devil's Disciple slipping through on his inside. On the outside, Flamenco. Those three through a quarter in 22 seconds flat. A Fleet Alex is fourth and down on the rail. Storm Surge is alongside him. Consolidator under a ride and Wild Nature around the far turn. Devil's Disciple has come through to seize the lead, but Flamenco was right there with him on the outside. Winning Expression and Jeremy Rose now asking a Fleet Alex for more run. They ran a half in 44 3/5 seconds. Sizzling pace in the slop here. It's Devil's Disciple and Flamenco. A Fleet Alex swings into action on the outside. He's 3 lengths behind at the top of the stretch. Devil's Disciple on the inside, and he digs down deep, and he's holding on to that lead. Flamenco is all out trying to get by him. A Fleet Alex is third. He's a length and a half behind, but he's wandering to the outside. And it's Devil's Disciple in front. A Fleet Alex now veering in as they come down to the finish. To Devil's Disciple, a Fleet Alex. A Fleet Alex won, zigzagging his way through the stretch at Saratoga. A Fleet Alex has won the 100th hopeful, defeating Devil's Disciple in the shadow of the wire.
A Fleet Alex just catching Devil's Disciple in the shadow of a wire, and a very, very exciting stretch run here. I have to admit, I had selected Devil's Disciple on top. I thought I was home when I saw a Fleet Alex kind of all over the racetrack, in the middle of the track, not really handling the going all that well, but just terrifically game to get his neck in front of Devil's Disciple. Flamenco ran another good race to finish a solid third, once again in graded stakes company. And the winner, however, deserves a great deal of kudos. He is now 4 for 4. He handled the off-going that he didn't seem to really like, but he just continued to plod on over it. Jeremy Rose, I believe, picking up his first Grade 1 stakes victory here in the Hopeful, and really a very exciting finish for these two very solid-looking 2-year-old colts. The winner of Fleet Alex is a 2-year-old bay son of Northern Afleet from Maggie Hawk by Hawkster. He was bred in Florida by John Martin Silvertand. He's owned by Cash's King Limited, trained by Tim Ritchie, ridden to victory by Jeremy Rose. A Fleet Alex picks up the victory in the 100th running of the Hopeful in 1:23 and 2. Speaking of very old races, we've got the Alabama next up, the 124th running of the Alabama Stakes for 3-year-old fillies, $750,000, mile and a quarter. Let's head back to Saratoga and the running of the Alabama.
And they're off. Susan's Angel out quickly, and a shadow is forwardly placed in the early going. Yearly Report down on the inside and running third as they move by us for the first time. Susan's Angel short lead, a shadow to her outside, Yearly Report to her inside, Stellar Jane not far behind and running along in fourth. On the far outside, Last Song is now fifth. A bit of a crowd going into that turn. Fleet Indian in and among horses and running sixth. Society Selection seventh on the outside. And the early trailer is a Lulu of a Menifee. It's a tight pack. The early first quarter goes in 23 3/5 seconds into the backstretch run. Susan's Angel, Yearly Report has been taken to the outside for a clear shot at that lead. And a shadow is poised in third as they begin the run down the backstretch. Just in behind the shadow, Stellar Jane runs in fourth. Last Song fifth on the outside. Fleet Indian is sixth and on the rail. Society Selection and a Lulu of a Menifee. Up the backstretch, solid half mile in this lop here, 47 1/5 seconds. Susan's Angel a narrow lead. The Californian Yearly Report has handled the mud very well so far. Right up there on the pace with 4.5 furlongs to go. Johnny Velasquez has his star filly, a shadow, poised in the clear on the outside third. There goes Stellar Jane, who's mounting a bid now. She's asked for her run. Far outside, and she's now fourth. Around the far turn, here comes a shadow, up and after the lead. Susan's Angel on the inside. Stellar Jane taking a bold run at the lead. Yearly Report fights on, and between horses fourth. 2.5 lengths back, Fleet Indian fifth toward the inside, and Society Selection. And now the field turns for home. Susan's Angel and Yearly Report, they both check out of it. Here's Stellar Jane to take it to a shadow at the top of the stretch. Society Selection on the far outside, hard to handle in third. There's 1 furlong to go, and it is Stellar Jane, a shadow fighting back gamely, and Society Selection is charging down the middle of the track. Here comes Society Selection, and she takes the lead. Society Selection, trained by Alan Jerkins, pulls an upset here to win the Alabama. Stellar Jane finishes second, and a shadow trudges home third.
Society Selection and the Giant Killer slays them once more, this time at just under 6-1. A stunning performance by Society Selection, taking advantage of the sharp pace in the early going, sitting off the pace on a horse that loved the slop. She had already won 2 for 2 over this racing surface last year, breaking her maiden, this year winning early on in the test, and here returns with a monstrous performance by 2.5 over Stellar Jane, the winner of the Mother Goose, and of course Ashado, who is still the Pro Tem leader of this division. A nice effort by Ashado down inside, not the easiest part of the racetrack to run over on this lap. We saw the same with Devil's Disciple, both of them on a poor part of the racetrack, but both of them very game in defeat. The winner, however, Society Selection, you can take nothing away from her. Very impressive, now 3 for 3 at the Spa. She is a 3-year-old bay daughter of Coronado's Quest from Love That Jazz by Dixieland Band. Bred in Kentucky by Marjorie and Irving Cowan, owned by the breeders and trained by the great Alan Jerkins. Ridden to victory by Cornelio Velasquez, Society Selection covers the 1.25 miles on the Saratoga Slop in 2:02 and 3. We're going to head right back to Saratoga now for the Saratoga Breeders' Cup Handicap on Sunday. $250,000 on offer here for the older horses in Grade 2 company, going 1.25 miles. We've got the Saratoga debut of Funny Side. Let's head back to Saratoga and the Saratoga Breeders' Cup.
And they're off. And Funny Side gets off to an uneventful start. The ladies' groom moves through on the inside second. In between horses, it's Congrats as they come down under the line the first time. So those three will vie for the early lead, with Sarava in behind them and at the rail running along in fourth. Evening Attire is fifth on the outside. At the back of the pack early are Bowman's Band and Alumni Hall. Around the first turn, and it's the ladies' groom in front. Funny Side there on the far outside. Congrats is in between those two. The opening quarter went in a swift 23 seconds flat, so this pace is hot here as they make their way into the backstretch run, and Funny Side was caught 3 wide all the way around the clubhouse turn. And it's Congrats now, up for a narrow lead, countering the ladies' groom. And Funny Side has settled down now. After a half and a testing, 46 2/5 seconds, Funny Side in his usual position, about 2.5 lengths off the lead. And then it's Sarava who's running fourth toward the inside. On the outside, Evening Attire. There's room at the rail for Bowman's Band, and he's moving through now, and gaining ground is Bowman's Band. Alumni Hall trails the field as they continue toward the half-mile pole. The ladies' groom under a bit of a ride there by Richard Migliori, trying to hold on to that lead. Congrats is right there with the ladies' groom. Bowman's Band toward the inside. Funny Side continues a wide journey, a punishing 3/4 mark in 1:10 and 4. There goes Bowman's Band. Bowman's Band takes the lead, and Funny Side is making his move in earnest now, and he's coming after Bowman's Band. Congrats is battling on in between those two. Sarava down toward the inside. Evening Attire, Alumni Hall on the far outside, and the field turns for home. Bowman's Band cuts the corner. Funny Side's in an all-out drive. Those two head-to-head for the lead. Evening Attire and Alumni Hall. They're coming into the final furlong, and the gutsy, gelding Funny Side doing battle with Evening Attire, and Evening Attire takes the lead, and he pulls away. Evening Attire has left Funny Side and the rest in his wake. Evening Attire wins by 5 lengths on the wire. Funny Side finishing second. Bowman's Band was third, and Alumni Hall was fourth.
Evening Attire, who won this race 2 years ago and had really not been quite as sharp as some of his previous efforts this year, had not just really put it together. This was his first victory of the year. He had run some very good races against top-class company. Here puts it all together on what has to be considered one of his favorite racetracks. He loves going 2 turns, and this set up perfectly for him. He did win a race here at Saratoga in Allowance Company last year, so obviously this racing surface suits him very nicely. The pace was very sharp up front with horses, talented horses up there like the ladies' groom, and Congrats showing the way early. Funny Side pressing the pace, very aggressive in the early going under Edgar Prado. Notable, Congrats and the ladies' groom both faded rather dramatically. Funny Side did run on well to finish in the second spot. A very nice effort here from Funny Side, just not a winning one. Bowman's Band, very game, made a huge move on the inside during the middle of this race, slipping through on the rail on the backstretch under Georgie Chavez. He could hold on for no better than third in the field of 7. The winner, Evening Attire, is a 6-year-old gray or roan gelded son of Black Tie Affair from Concouleur by Our Native. Bred in Kentucky by Thomas J. Kelly and Joseph M. Grant, owned by Mary and Joseph Grant, Thomas Kelly, and trained by Pat Kelly, ridden to victory by Cornelio Velasquez, who had a very good weekend in stakes company this weekend at Saratoga. Evening attire kicks clear in the 1.25 mile Saratoga Breeders' Cup in 2 minutes flat. That's going to wrap up a very busy week of stakes racing action. Thank you very much for joining us here on Horses and Courses. We hope you'll be able to join us again next week at the same time as we recap stakes racing action from all around the country. Thanks again. I'll see you all back here next week.